Hello everybody, we're here to do the eggs lesson this week, and we're going to be making eggs Benedict. We're going to be taking your breakfast food maybe up a little notch if you're not used to this kind of thing. So I have most of my ingredients here behind me. I've got 3 small pots on the stove. We're going to need all of them, and a number of ingredients I'm going to go over with you here in just a moment. Alright, so we have a 1/4 cup of butter. You're going to need an egg. I have some water for us, lemon juice, some smoked paprika. You can use cayenne pepper if you want. We're not going to be using a lot of it, just enough to give it some flavor, and salt and pepper for flavor. All right, so this is just the first part of the recipe. We'll get to the second parts of the recipe in a little while. So what we're going to have to do with that is we're going to have to melt the butter, okay, and you're going to put that in a small pot. And you're just going to bring that up to a point where it melts, okay? And we don't want it boiling. It's just going to get a little bit foamy, and it's going to melt, and it's going to take 4 or 5 minutes once it melts for it to get to the right spot, okay? So we'll get that started. And we'll bring that up to a melt, okay? I'm going to pause this because this is going to take a little bit, and I'll let you see when we come back. Okay, so our egg is over here, and we're going to break that in just a moment. Our butter is foamy, and I'm just going to give you a little look at what I mean by foamy, okay? So, like that, and it's pretty much ready to go. But what we need to do is separate an egg, all right? So you're going to take an egg, and you're going to separate it into a yolk and a white, okay? So come down here and we can take a look at that. So you just crack it gently, pull the eggshell apart, let the white of the egg go over the side, and then to get the rest of the white out, you can put the yolk over on the other side of the egg and drain a little more of the white out. And you can just keep doing that until the yolk is pretty much by itself, okay? And what we're... Well, a little bit of an accident with the camera there, eh? All right, so I'm going to get that hook back up, and we've got our eggs separated anyway. I'll show you what that looks like. And there's the white, there's the yolk, and I'll get this hook back up and be back with you in a sec. All right, so we're back after our little accident. We're going to take that egg yolk, and we're going to put it in a pot or a bowl. It's up to you, okay? We're just going to put that in there, and we're going to put that in there with about a teaspoon of water, and then we're going to stir it up with a whisk. Our butter is still happily bubbling away a little bit here. So, got my teaspoon of water. I'm going to add that to my egg yolk. And I'm going to take my whisk, and I'm going to beat that around. Until it's mixed, okay? Now the next part's a little bit tricky. It's putting the hot butter into the egg, and the idea is to do that slowly enough that the egg doesn't cook. Okay, so you got to be stirring and pouring the hot butter in really, really slow. Okay? So pouring very, very slowly. as long as you pour it in slowly enough, your egg mixture should be fairly liquidy, okay? So let's get to our next step there. So we have that mixed. It didn't cook. It's a success. All right. The egg didn't coagulate. It didn't become solid. So what we need to do now is add our lemon juice and our spice. Okay. So what we need is about half a teaspoon of lemon juice. So half a teaspoon. There we go. And I'm using smoked paprika. Okay, I don't like cayenne, so I'm going to use a little smoked paprika. And we don't need a lot. We're just going to put a little dusting in. You're looking for like maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon at most. And you're going to whip that in. And this is just to flavor it a little bit. That's all it's for. And then just a little salt and pepper to taste. Okay, so you don't need a lot. I'm just going to whip that in. So you have something that looks like this. Okay. And I'm going to put that in a little jar off to the side. And we have to wrap it so it doesn't form a skin, okay? So I got my little glass jar. You can use a small bowl, whatever. We're just going to pour all of that into that bowl. And then we're going to cover it with saran wrap, plastic wrap. So we're going to get a little plastic wrap, and what you're going to do with this is you're going to put it right down on the surface of the egg, and that way the egg won't form a skin. Okay? So you just push that right down into the bowl so that the plastic wrap is actually sitting on the surface of the egg. Okay? So like this. See, it goes all the way down in. And the egg is just covered with the saran wrap. And that keeps the air from getting into it and forming a skin. And we can put this aside at room temperature until we're done. Okay? It's fine. I'm not going to hurt it. Alright, so now we have to do our poached egg. So I've got to get some water warmed up, not to boiling point, just simmering. Alright? And then we have to add some vinegar to it, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to get that going and pause it. I'll come back to you once I got my water simmering, okay? See you in a bit. Okay, so my water is almost at a simmer. I'm going to put some vinegar in it, just a tablespoon. That's all you need. So we're just doing normal white vinegar. And you're going to stir that around a little bit. It's not quite ready yet. I've got some bubbles on the bottom, but it's definitely not at a simmer yet. So here, I'll give you a little look. You can see that it's got those bubbles down on the bottom. And we're going to continue heating it just a little bit slowly. And as soon as that starts to bubble just a little bit more, but not a boil, we're going to poach our egg. Okay? So, when my water's at the right spot, I'll be back. All right, so I've got my water at a simmer. The bubbles are forming on the bottom, and there's some coming up to the top very gently. Not a whole lot. It's not a rolling boil, but enough that I'm happy with it. And uh, we're going to have to get an egg, and we're going to gently crack that after we get the water going in a clockwise direction in the pot. And what this is going to happen, what this is going to help happen is keeping the egg together so it doesn't spread out all over the inside of the pan. Okay, and the vinegar helps with that too. It helps coagulate the egg. So don't try this without the vinegar. It won't work. All right. So we got it going in a clockwise direction. We're going to gently crack this, and we're going to put it in the center of the pot very gently. And you can see what it's doing there, all right? And we let it sit that way for about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, and we'll go from there, okay? I like to check with a wooden spatula that it's not sticking to the bottom. Just very gently. Okay, yep, we're good. So we're going to let that sit for 4 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, so our egg is almost ready. I've got a little frying pan in the back here because I've got to do up some meat for it, bacon, ham. I'm allergic to pork, so that doesn't work for me. So I have a little piece of all beef sausage here. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get that going while I pull this egg out. Okay, so we're going to do that now. What you're going to have is you're going to have a plate with some paper towel, and you're just going to pull that egg out of the water and put it on the paper towel and set it aside. Okay. So there's our egg, our poached egg, and we're going to set that aside to cool while the meat cooks up for the rest of it. And you're also going to toast your bread or your English muffin at this time so that you can get it all put together pretty quick. All right? All right, so I've got my sausage frying up. My toast is down. I used a slotted spoon to get the egg out of the water. And we're going to assemble everything. And once I've got my meat done and my toast is done, I'll show you how to put it together. See you in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, my little piece of sausage is pretty much done. And my bread is coming out of the toaster as we speak. Okay. And, oh, and by the way, this is the homemade bread recipe that I did a couple of weeks ago. And we're just going to put that on a plate. We're going to butter that nicely. Nice crispy toast. And you're going to take your bacon, ham, Albi sausage, and put that on your bread. English muffin work better, but I don't have English muffins right at the moment. So there we go. So we have our bread, we have our little piece of sausage. I'm going to get the egg and we're going to assemble that for you. Okay, so we're going to take that egg. I'm going to put it on there. We're going to get the hollandaise sauce and we're going to spoon it over the egg. So your hollandaise sauce with the saran wrap on it, you're going to pull that off. Okay. And you're going to drizzle that over the egg. so. Okay. And then you want to put some onions on it maybe, chives. And maybe a little bit of dill or parsley. And just a touch of salt and pepper. And there you have it. Eggs Benedict. Enjoy. Yum. That's pretty good if I don't say so myself. Have a good day, everybody. See you later.